So you're very welcome back to Unstable TV. If this is your first time on the channel, do not forget to
like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell. And if you're back with us again, thank you.
So what are we reacting to today, Danielle?
So today, James, we've done a couple of weird, disgusting street food videos, and we've been sent the most disgusting things found in fast food restaurants. And we're not just talking about McDonald's hamburgers.
So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into this. We're Cells and News. Let's go.
First up, a knife dinner at Subway. Subway's promise of freshness doesn't seem to apply to the mental state of some of their staff. A man named John Angesini was enjoying himself a footlong in 2008 when he discovered a terrible secret in the bread. An actual, honest-to-goodness knife baked in. Ultimate disaster was only averted because Angesini bit into the handle rather than the blade. That could really have cut up his mouth if he'd eaten his sandwich the other way. On top of that, he got a minor case of food poisoning that left him in bed for hours. His lawyers at the same time told CBS News that they'd uncovered many other incidents like this in Subways around the country. Yikes. So John got a $20,000 settlement for his trouble, and we've gotten some new reasons to avoid Subway. Next, hash browns with a side of roach. Seeing cockroaches in a kitchen is the first thing most people would think of when thinking of kitchen nightmares. Well, McDonald's made one Redditor's nightmare come true by serving him a hash brown with a cockroach cooked inside, and a big one too. It's a wonder how something like that could slip through the kitchens, but what we do know is that it really ruined someone's morning. How could that McDonald's make up for a mistake like that? You'd probably hope for something more than just, say, a coupon for the same meal, but that's what this Redditor got. Safe to say that he was not loving it. And now, a McHead in a box of McWings. We're not done with McDonald's just yet. A woman in Virginia ordered a box of chicken wings at the Golden Arches. She got more of the chicken than just the wings. Just as she was taking a bite, her 8-year-old yelled at her to put it down, and the woman noticed that a chicken head had ended up in her hand. It was a whole head, with the beak, crest, and even the eyes still intact, just breaded and fried. Why does McDonald's even have whole chicken heads in their restaurant? She was rightly annoyed, and annoyed even further when all the restaurant offered in exchange was 2 weeks of free meals. She tried to sue them, and the chain settled with her for $100,000. So we guess this counts as a happy ending. Next, a touch of taste at Wendy's. Chefs commonly taste their dishes in progress in the kitchen by dipping their fingers in the food and tasting. The finger isn't supposed to be left inside the food, but that seemed to be what happened to a woman in California. She was horrified to find a severed finger inside her cup of Wendy's chili. Now, in most of the stories in today's video, we see restaurants messing up, but this seems to be taking things to another level, which is why you won't be surprised to learn that Wendy's didn't put a finger in someone's chili. This whole thing was a scam, dreamt up by the woman's husband and a Nevada man to scam the restaurant. There are so many unanswered questions here. Did the woman know? How did they plant the finger? Whose finger was it? The strangest things happen at Wendy's apparently. And now, an unconventional way of salting fries at Cracker Barrel. Susan Mosher of Kingwood, Texas had a pretty hard life. She was a cancer survivor, going strong for 20 years, but still a victim of compromised immunity. But she probably wasn't thinking about all that while dining with her husband at a local Cracker Barrel, until she noticed some red stuff on her fries. That was no ketchup, it was blood. The chef had apparently cut himself while cooking, and in violation of Cracker Barrel policy, continued to work. As a result, he'd given Mosher's fries an unusual drizzle. We all hate undersalted fries, but this just isn't the right way to season your food. What's worse is that, because of medical history, Mosher was especially at risk of contracting a bloodborne disease from the food. At last report, she was in discussion with her lawyers for suing the restaurant, and the chef's finger had hopefully healed by then. Next, having some skin in the game at Arby's. On a similar note, David Scheiding took Arby's downtown to the courthouse, seeking $50,000 in damages after he found a gross garnish in his chicken sandwich. When he took a bite of said sandwich, he felt something was off about the taste, and he ended up finding a piece of human flesh 3/4 of an inch long. The skin had the ridges of a fingerprint on it, and Scheiding's suspicions were confirmed during a health investigation, where it was found that the manager had sliced off his fingertip. He cleaned up his station, but didn't toss the lettuce he was slicing when he cut himself. Scheiding's sandwich just happened to have lettuce on it. Scheiding sued the restaurant, and while the outcome of the case wasn't reported, the restaurant was defending itself well enough. We're not sure what defense could get you off the hook for a mistake like this, but that's exactly the sort of thing lawyers are supposed to figure out, we suppose. And now, the mice tasting food at Popeyes. We love it when we get an extra piece in our order of chicken, but the piece should actually be chicken. That's not what Tony Hill got at a Baltimore Popeyes. While taking a bite of his chicken, he found that it wasn't chicken at all, but a mouse that had ended up in the deep fryer. This was apparently a symptom of a mouse infestation that had gotten the same Popeyes closed twice in the previous 2 years, which will probably be closed once more, and for good this time. Instead, Popeyes denied the claim and tried to put on a show for the city's health inspectors. We hope that those attempts didn't pan out, and that Popeyes got shut down for good. Eating vermin is totally gross. It can have serious health risks on top of that. Next, injecting flavor at Burger King. Another burger joint has ruined another woman's breakfast. This time, the story takes us to the Bronx, where a woman was getting her daily dose of morning energy at a Burger King. On her second bite of her croissant with egg, cheese, and sausage, she felt something poke her in the cheek. When she spat it out, she found that it was a syringe needle, and now it had her blood on it. The woman immediately got herself checked for any illness she contracted, and even postponed her wedding out of fear of passing on some infectious disease to her fiancé and family. She was apparently quite shaken by the experience, which is why she and her lawyer were gearing up to take Burger King to the state Supreme Court for $11 million in damages. The outcome of the case was never reported, so we're left to wonder if that woman and her family are okay, if Burger King ever learned the very expensive lesson they clearly needed to learn. And now, Pizza Hut's reputation is gonna need a band-aid. Have you ever had Pizza Hut pizza cold from the fridge? It doesn't sound like it should taste good, but take our word for it and give it a try one of these days. Just make sure to check the bottom of the pizza before eating it. There may be a surprise down there, like the one that Ked Weischerza discovered on his pizza. His extra topping was a bloody band-aid, and he didn't realize it was there until after he took a bite. Good thing for him that he didn't swallow it. You'd expect a swift response from the Hut, but they stuck their heads in the sand when he complained. They also declined to pay for his blood work, which they should cover for him in case he contracted some disease from the band-aid. There are no reports on this situation past the fact that Weischerza was in talks with a lawyer. That's weird, since we think you'll agree that the hammer needs to come down hard on Pizza Hut for letting this kind of thing happen. We're sure you must be super grossed out hearing about all this, and are swearing off fast food forever. We'll end on a reassuring note. These are all isolated incidents that occurred over long periods of time. Restaurants are committed to maintaining hygiene and food standards. That includes McDonald's, which featured twice on this list. But at the end of the day, restaurants are run by human beings. They get stressed out and tired and make mistakes. Don't get us wrong, that doesn't make any of this stuff okay. We're just encouraging some compassion and telling you it's okay to eat fast food. After all, when you want something with these, nothing else can satisfy the craving.
That's true. So, first of all, a very big shout out to the original content creator. Make sure you check them out, give them a like, subscribe, and share. And a shout out to you guys for the suggestion. Fried chicken head, band-aid on a pizza, needle in the burger. Ask for extras on my food. I don't mean these toppings. What did you think of that, Danielle?
I think the worst one there had to be the needle. That could have been so dangerous.
Detrimental.
No, it could have been. That one. How did the needle get in there in the first place? How did it get to the kitchen?
Brings a whole new meaning to find the needle in the haystack.
It does. Like, what the hell? First of all, I had to get into the kitchen and then I had to get into the burger.
And then into the person's mouth.
Yeah. How's that? You know what?
Needless to say.
I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing I do know. I am hungry after watching that. I know I shouldn't be, but I am.
Sam, I could eat for 1,000 starving goats.
That Pizza Hut looked quite delicious, actually.
Yeah.
Without the band-aid, though, of course.
Yeah, none of that, please.
No. That also could have been really dangerous, too.
Has anyone here got any of their own fast food horror stories? And let us know in the comments if you want to share now. If you're feeling up for the task. Have you had your own horror story with fast food?
No, I actually haven't. Have you?
No.
No.
No, I haven't, fortunately enough.
No, unless they just give me, like, you know, I ask for garlic bread and I get wedges. That's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
that's not even a bad thing then.
So let us know if you guys have any, and that has been our 2 cents, and we will chop ourselves out of this.